Is that Shoggy? Okay. I'll be with you.
Wow, this is beautiful, lovely pictures. Wow. Wow, this is a picture of a man of God, Reverend Mama Madge. Wow, I remember it.
Yeah, you gave it to me 2008.
I gave it. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember.
My birthday.
Wow, such a lovely picture. I remember this calendar too. 2013, Reverend Mama Madge's calendar. I love this particular calendar.
Yeah, and I even have 2014 and 15 outside in the wall.
Oh, lovely. Hello, Ma. It's great being here, and I just love this house. It's beautiful, very colorful, lots of plants. I like plants, but more importantly for me, I love Reverend Mama Madge's pictures all over the house.
Isn't he wonderful?
Oh yeah, he's wonderful. Lots of wonderful pictures. Yeah, and I couldn't help but notice that you have a lot of materials of the man of God's, notepad and CD and so many things. And this particular notepad, well, it says here, Team Mama Madge Global Outreach.
Yes, that's my notepad.
Yeah, turning the hearts of men back to God.
Yes.
And it has a wonderful word of wisdom here that says, your tongue is a pen writing your destiny to its destination.
That's right.
Yeah. And this it reminds me of a prophecy of what the man of God said upon your life many years ago. This was 1999, if I'm right.
That's right.
Yeah, back in Kennington, here in London,
yes.
And he called you out,
yes.
and he was complimenting you that you look so youthful. You're 70 years young, but then you were not 70. You're 70 right now, and he was saying you look so youthful, and he was, encouraging you in the Lord. And he actually said something. He dropped a word, which is shaping your destiny now. He said he's going to bring you on one of his TV programs, and he's going to celebrate you and speak about how youthful you look, how youthful you are, and how useful you are for God. This program is called Youthful to be Useful. You're 70 years young, and you're still useful for the Lord. And I cannot help but remember that moment, because that was a very important moment in your life when he spoke. It's taken, a good number of years from 1999 for it to come to pass. But just as this word of wisdom say, what he said through his tongue is a pen, and it's writing your destiny even right now.
Yes.
Did you remember that time?
I remember it very well, and we were in Kennington at the time when the man of God, Prophet Timothy Amadasha, spoke in my life. And it's been many years now, and I know that it would come to pass.
Wow.
And I believe that this is the time.
Wow. So that's 1999, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Making 16 years for this vision, for this prophecy to actually come to pass.
Yes, it is. And it took 16 years, but it's a vision that Papa spoke about, and it's for an appointed time. And I believe that the time is now.
Wow. I've noticed, that you have a lot of the materials of the man of God all around. You have his notepad, the CD. The CD is from 2003.
Yes.
And you're playing his music, his calendar. Why do you have these materials all around you?
Because I met Prophet Timothy Amadasha at Christ Church in June 1998.
Do you even remember the date?
1998, and it was a night vision. And I have not met anyone like him before.
Wow.
I've never.
And you've met a lot of men of God.
And I've met a lot of men of God in my time. And it changes my life. Just meeting the man of God and just being in the ministry, it has changed my whole life.
Wow.
I don't know. I know that if I wasn't in JDI, I don't even think I would be alive today.
Wow. I mean, JDI is a church arm.
Yes.
That's Jesus Dominant International. Because you've met a lot of, men of God. You're 70 years old, and
yes.
Why him?
Well, I met the man of God at Christ Church, June 1998, and it was a night vision.
Wow. And
when I walked into that place, I have never heard anyone or seen anyone like the man of God.
That was a period where the man of God held a series of it was just night vigils.
All night vigils was going on.
Christ Church, Brixton.
Brixton. And that's where I met him. And when I heard he was ministering, and it was just mind-blowing. And I knew straight away that he was not an ordinary minister. I knew that he was not speaking with enticing words of man wisdom at all. I realized that what I was hearing, he was ministering in the demonstration of the Spirit and with power. He was just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be funny, but it's just like, as I said, like, you've met a lot of men of God because from growing up, the little I know about you from growing up, you've moved around a lot of men of God. I mean, along the years, you've met a lot of men of God. I don't want to start mentioning names. So for you to say he ministered powerfully, ministered in a unique way, something that could grab your attention and that could make you, still be in the ministry since then.
That's
and be actively in the ministry. There must be something more unique.
It's unique, and French would say he's va-va-voom.
I like that, va-va-voom. Yeah, so is there any miracle, any testimony, is it the way he plays the keyboard, the way he does his music? What really stands out for you?
Everything. We have seen so much in the ministry. It bring me back to when, at the day of Pentecost, and when after Pentecost, Peter and John, they were preaching the gospel. And they were preaching with power and with authority. And remember, the Sadducees and the priests, they were all against it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to stop them from speaking the name Jesus. In Acts chapter 5, where they did not want Peter and John to speak the name of Jesus. And Peter and John says that they cannot help but speak what they have seen and heard. I cannot help but speak. I'm excited because I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a ministry like this.
Wow.
And I've never seen a man of God like Prophet Mama Madge.
Yeah.
I was in South Africa at the time when the bird came and speak to our Father in the Lord. We were on the balcony where the man of God was ministering, speaking to us about the kingdom.
Was it in Durban or Port
Elizabeth? In Durban. And we were on the balcony. I think it was 2002. And he was speaking deep. It was deep. And suddenly we heard the voice of a bird.
Wow.
And it was just amazing that we all knew straight away that this sound of bird was unusual.
Wait. So you were having a discussion, so you just like having a nice time. There were a lot of other people there.
Yeah, there was about 7 of us from London at the time.
And then the bird
and the man of God was just speaking the mystery of God. We heard the bird. It was a bit far off.
Okay.
And then we stopped. Immediately we all stopped, and he began to listen. And he said to the bird, "Come nearer."
Wow.
He said, "Come nearer." And there was the balcony have like perch where the bird came and perched right over.
Okay.
Yes. And the man of God listened. And we all listened. And then after, Papa said to the the bird, "You can go now."
Wow. So was the bird like doing
yes,
making some noise or?
He was talking. The bird was speaking.
Wow.
And the man of God, he understands all the animals' language and everything.
Wow.
And we listened. The man of God listened, and he got the message.
Yeah.
And he told the bird he can go.
Wow.
And the bird flew away.
Wow.
That's mind blowing, isn't it?
It is.
And then the man of God told us that what the message was from God, what it was, and he said that there was going to be a massive flood in South Africa. But because the man of God was there, the Lord said he would divert the flood to somewhere else.
Wow.
And the man of God said...
So not Mozambique?
The man of God said to us, put on the TV in the morning.
Wow.
And you will see...
That's the next day.
The next day.
Because I heard of this testimony.
Yeah, put it on the TV when you wake up. And we all were so excited. We all got ready and we all put the TV on. And exactly what the man of God said. Because the Lord told him that he will divert it to Mozambique.
Wow.
The worst floods in 50 years have left hundreds of thousands homeless and without food. Many are still stranded by the floodwaters. And the awful fact is, that it looks like there are more storms to come. The damage to the country is immense. Hundreds of roads and bridges have been destroyed.
That's like a neighboring country.
Yes. And
the
next morning, we turned the TV on, exactly what the man of God says. There was massive flood in Mozambique.
Wow. I mean, this is amazing. It reminds me of, because it's not every day you hear, someone that can actually listen to animals and understand what they say. Yeah. Although in the world, people do try this, but, this is in another realm, another level. It reminds me of a testimony in Nigeria that happened a number of years ago when God actually gave the man of God this gift of interpretation of tongues.
Yes.
And there was a woman that lost her child.
Mm-hmm.
The woman actually didn't know what to do. She lost her child. They looked everywhere. They couldn't, in Ibadan, in Nigeria, they didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So they came to the house where the man of God was residing, Reverend Mama Madge Heron, and they were like, please, because everyone knew that, the power of God resides in him in a unique way, like, you look in the Bible, you remember Samuel, when, he would tell Saul that, go to this place, you see a man carrying, a bread, just accurately,
exactly.
So the man of God said, don't worry, just follow me. And it was like he knew where the child was. He was like, just follow me. Obviously, the Holy Ghost was showing him, where the child was. And I remember that, what happened was like he saw a mother hen, because when you said the bird, you remember, yeah. And the mother hen was going, and the mother hen had 3 chicks, and there was another chick walking closer, so 4 altogether. And he asked the woman, said, how many children do you have? And the woman said, oh, actually, I have 4 children. So he noticed that, the chicks that were around the mother hen was like 4. And he could tell through the power of the Holy Ghost that she had 4 children. And then the man of God now said, because one of the chicks was going a little bit away from the other 3. And you say, out of these 4 children, one of them is not actually yours. And she said, how did you know, man of God? It's true. I adopted this other child. And then he said, okay, don't worry. And he noticed that the mother hen was going. And in the direction where the mother hen was going, he was just bringing the woman along. And then he realized that there was some poles, because in Africa, especially in Nigeria, the electricity is not done on the ground. It's done like with poles. So he was just following the poles. And then when the mother hen got to another pole, the mother hen just went away. But I think the night before that day, there was a huge, rain, around that area.
Yes.
So the rain and the wind brought down a pole, and he could realize that this pole, where there was an uncompleted building, that was where the child was.
Wow.
They got in and they saw the child, and that was how the child was, united back, with the mom. So I can understand what you say. When that was how God gave him that gift, actually, to be able to interpret, the tongue of a human being or an animal.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
We just knew it was God in motion there, and the great grace of God that upon our Father in the Lord. It was just mind-blowing. It was testimony. It just mind-blowing.
There were so many miracles that happened, in Motherwell Sports Center. That's in Port Elizabeth, South Africa.
Yeah.
And that reminds me also of the woman that died for 7 days.
That's right.
She was in the mortuary, in the fridge, ice cold for 7 days. It's so amazing. And don't forget that, there was a word of knowledge actually that came. The man of God was in a meeting in Port Elizabeth, and he said, there's someone here, a member of the ministry. You have a relative that died.
Yes.
And the person rushed out, and he now took a piece of paper. There was a brother, that actually bent his back, and he signed, he wrote a letter and said, God, look at that intimacy, God, bring back this dead person for me and he wrote his name and he signed, in a red pen.
That's right.
And then after that, he told them to go and put that on the neck of the person that died.
That's right.
But, they didn't want to do that because at times in South Africa, you get benefits, when people die. And he said, this word will not go back void. This word that I've spoken. Remember what we said earlier? Your tongue is a pen, writing your destiny to its destination. So now the man of God is using his tongue to write the destiny of not just his destination, but the destination of his people. And just like in the Bible, where Samuel, it was said that, the words of Samuel didn't fall to the ground. That's one thing I've noticed about the man of God, Reverend Mama Madge Heron. Whatever he says doesn't go back void. It doesn't fall to the ground. Because that family didn't want to, put the signature and the letter on the corpse, maybe because of benefits, he said, this will not come back void. So there was another person that died, and someone that knew about this took that same letter to the mortuary, put it on this lady that was dead for 7 days in the mortuary.
Yes.
There's a clip to prove this. And then the woman just came back alive.
Don't be flabbergasted, it's Jesus. 7 days comes.
Yes.
It's in your midst this night. Stand up, baby. After being dead for 7 days. And when the mortuary for 7 days.
I was in the mortuary for 7 days because I found myself naked with nothing, no underwear at all.
Among the dead bodies, you saw that dead bodies.
Where is it to? I was among the dead bodies. I was also wearing that white dress which they put on to the dead.
How many of you will give Jesus a medical?
After 7 days,
Wow.
came back alive, came to the church, was presented to the church, and was like, she didn't know what was happening. She just woke up in amongst dead bodies, and she came back alive. So many miracles, and I can now understand why you're so passionate about Reverend Mama Madge, why you have his pictures all around you. I can understand that.
I cannot live with, where else am I going to go? Which ministry here on earth? Where would I go?
Wow.
That's
what Peter was saying, telling Jesus, where would we go?
Where am I going to go? It's my home, it's my life.
Wow.
So even though we have not seen Papa, the man of God, for so 15 years, we just wait. We just know that he's there for us.
Yeah.
He's there for us. So many things happen at Bingo. I remember one night a woman came to Papa while he was ministering, she said to him, she has not slept for how many months or years.
I remember that one.
And the man of God said,
I think it was 3 years. She couldn't sleep. She never slept for 3 years.
And the man of God said, do you want to sleep? And he said, as soon as she was going back to her seat, she was falling off.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
This is God. This is, God know at this end time that they need a prophet here on earth.
Yeah.
For his people. And he sent the man of God, Prophet Tim Amatasha, at this time. And I know without a doubt that he is the end time prophet.
Yeah.
He is the one who will usher Christ back into this world.
Yeah.
He is the general of the end time. And no one can tell me any different.
Yeah.
No one can tell me any difference.
Amazing. I really bless God. I really bless God.
Absolutely.
Because testimonies, people's, faith, the broken wall of faith. So when you listen to testimonies, they actually, some of these testimonies, when Christians listen to it, they might actually turn to unbelievers.
Yes.
Because a lot of people believe that, God is not alive anymore.
Yes.
They don't say that, but it's just like you read the Bible and it stops there.
Yeah.
There's no outstanding miracle. And Jesus Christ said that, because I go to my Father, greater works than these shall you do. And we see these greater works in this ministry.
Yes. Even now you go to do evangelism.
Yeah.
You try to tell someone that, this is what God used the man of God to do. They walk away.
Wow.
Because they don't believe they just don't believe. I was telling someone a few weeks ago about the Indian woman who had her breast cut off, and she came to the man of God and said, "Man of God, I want a new breast."
I remember that one clearly. That was in Durban.
Yes.
OCC. Durban. And the woman came. It was after the service. The service has ended. you know, as a man of God, normally when you're at the altar, the anointing is flowing.
Yes.
And most men of God, not, you know, taking anything away from the anointing of God upon their lives, you know, we respect, you know, all men of God all over the world. But at times, you know, when you leave the pulpit, the anointing, you know, stops there.
Yeah.
So the service was finished, you know, the grace was shared, and the man of God was about to come out of the hall.
Yes.
And this woman, an Indian woman who was a Muslim, just came and approached him and said, "Man of God, the color of my breast." And the man of God was like, "So?" And he said, "Yeah, I want a new one."
Yes.
And the man of God said that was a challenge because a Muslim lady, an Indian lady coming to him, and he said, "Yeah, go and get another one."
Yes.
And people were looking around like, "What do you mean go and get? Where are you going to go and get another breast?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to do a breast implantation?" But she just went back, and I remember that evening she had a sensation on that side. It was a left breast sensation, and by time, because there was a bandage, she had this see-through, you know, garment on, so everyone could see that, you know. There was one side she had the breast, the other side was flat, and there was a bandage on it. And then around the evening, she was feeling a sensation. On that night, there was a nipple where the doctors caught, and the next day she had another breast the same size as the other side. Who is going to believe that?
Who's going to believe that?
But Jesus Christ said, "Greater works than these shall you do, because I go to my Father."
Right.
These miracles still happen, and we really bless God for it.
And off the pulpit.
Yes, on and off the pulpit.
And off the pulpit. Great things happen. Here in London, humorous testimonies happen where the man of God ministering, and usually sometimes at the end of the service, when the law end, then Holy Spirit begin to minister. And that lady that was on the balcony without kidney.
Oh yes, I remember that one as well.
And it blew the mind of the doctors.
There was a word of knowledge that came that there's someone here, you don't have a kidney, and he said to your right.
Fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube.
That's it. And the right fallopian. When she went back to the hospital, it blew the mind of the doctors. So
because the doctor removed it.
Yes. So it blew the mind of the doctors that you know, they could not believe what was happening.
I really thank God for your life, and you know, we just end on this note, because if we need to go on, we will share. There's so many testimonies. You know, even when we went up there, you were still sharing so many testimonies. But these testimonies are for people out there to believe that, you know, God is alive. And one thing, you know, I thank God for you especially, you know, is that you're 70 years young. I'm not allowed to say 70 years old. You're 70 years young, and I know and you know that it's the power of God in this ministry, the anointing and the covenant upon the man of God, because one thing that I noticed about you is that you're always in the presence of God, and that's why David said that, you know, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever, all days of my life. You're always in the presence of God, and you listen to the word of God, you listen to the administration of the man of God, you traveled around with him, and that word of God, the power in the word of God that created all things, it has actually worked in your life that you look so young. You don't look 70. You know, I really thank God for your life, and I believe that this episode will encourage a lot of people out there that no matter how old they are, let's not forget Moses. He was 80 years old when his ministry actually started, and when he was 120, he said, "My eyes do not dim." You know, you're not using a stick. You're not using, you know, to God's glory. You're not using, like, you know, glasses to see me. You can see me clearly. And just as Moses said, you know, he said, "My eyes are not dim. You know, I can go in and go out." The same with Joshua as well. The same with Caleb, who was 85, and he was like, you know, he was reminding Joshua that, you know, I'm still strong. So people out there, you're youthful to be useful. The woman of God, you know, Mama Madge, as we call her, you know, she's youthful to be useful. And no matter your age, God can still use you. Can do wonders. Like God is using you now, using this ministration, these testimonies, this moment to touch millions out there. So whatever your age is, whatever you're going through, God is alive. Believe in God, you shall be established. But believe in His prophets, as the word of God says, and ye shall prosper. From me to you, from Mama Madge, and from the ADBN team, we say God bless you, and stay tuned to Asian of Day Broadcasting Network. Thank you.
Amen.